Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
There we go. Yes, Lyle Armstrong is better this way. No audio. Hello, welcome to Beer Bullstein. Sorry about that. We have a new microphone here. I have decided to upgrade or downgrade, however you want to talk about it. My name is Lyle Armstrong. Welcome to Beer Bullstein, where we separate the bull from the stein, and the truth comes out to the top of the good pudding that is left. I am a 22-year military combat vet of the EOD variety, what's also known as explosive ordnance disposal. So we kind of lived in the no bullshit kind of way. So that's how I kind of live my life in a zero fail mission. I like to see my colleagues and coworkers do the same. I am all dressed up in my cami today because we are at war with Iran. I like to see if where we're at. But let's talk about it real quick. How did we get here? Where are we going and all that other good stuff. But before we get into that, we're going to actually take a look here and see our founders of the feast here, SHR Media. Thank you guys for producing and hosting this. This is the SHR Media webpage that you could go and get articles almost every day about current events, everything you could possibly think of that's going on here. Now, what I do want to point out is under the shows thing is our SHR Media shop. If you click on that, you will get our nice little shop here. And right now we are running a featured drop of limited edition for the 250 reasons to read source material and source documents t-shirt, which I just got mine in the mail the other day, and the damn thing is actually really comfortable. I do appreciate it. This thing is this is our 250th year of our country, because guess what? I'm turning 52 or 50 as well. Yeah, 50 as well. So here we go. Down below, you can see the other guys. I'm going to open that up a little bit wider so you can see it. You see all the other shows. My show will be up there eventually, possibly. We'll have an unveiling maybe of my show's t-shirt. But as if BZ's show can be believed, that coffee mug can withstand re-entry. I do highly recommend it. That thing is good for camping or concussions, one of the two. You can throw it against the wall or your spouse, and nothing's going to happen other than a hospital trip. So I highly recommend that thing. Keeps your coffee warm, keeps you sane, and it makes you sexier while you do it, smarter while you drink it. All that other good things. So thank you for SHR Media for hosting this. Do appreciate you giving me the opportunity as always. I do like an interactive chat, people. I do see Pineapple Pine Sol in there, who's throwing out my name. I love it. Hello, Pineapple. Let's see. where were we on with this? So I do want to start off with this. Where did we start with this? And let's go back to the beginning. Whoops, I need to actually change something up real quick. I know this is really, really unprofessional, but we're going to, I need to set this up again. I apologize. I need to pull this onto a different screen so it doesn't cover your guys' beautiful faces up.
It is true that if Iran lives up to it.
And let's see where we started. This is August of 2015.
It is true that if Iran lives up to its commitments, it will gain access to roughly $56 billion of its own money. But the notion that this will be a game changer, with all this money funneled into Iran's pernicious activities, misses the reality of Iran's current situation. Iran's leaders have raised the expectations of their people that sanctions relief will improve their lives. Even a repressive regime like Iran's cannot completely ignore those expectations. And that's why our best analysts expect the bulk of this revenue to go into spending that improves the economy and benefits the lives of the Iranian people.
All right, so let's do a little bit of Bullstein review on that. Your room full of analysts are a bunch of morons. So that was August of 2015. Those were some high-flighty, whatever wacky tobacco smoking morons that sat there and thought good intentions of, hey, let's give these terrorists $56 billion with a B, billion dollars. And they're just going to do the right thing with it. Some of it's going to funnel off to, things that are going to hurt us and, go off and fight, with terrorism and funnel to Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and, ISIS and ISIL and all those other people. However, they're going to do good things. They're going to raise people up. They're going to start teaching girls, right, in schools, which, by the way, they don't. And by the way, they didn't do any of that shit. They funneled all of it. All of it. They pinky promised it couldn't possibly backfire, as Pineapple Ponsell has said. Absolutely. That's exactly what it was. This was all good wishes and backfiring garbage. That is absolutely it. It was complete and utter bullshit. We're going to pull the Bullstein meter on this one at 100%. And this was just well wishes and good thoughts, and let's see, if I can shit in one hand and have good thoughts in the other one, which one do you think is going to get dirty? Not that I want to, but there you go. So, guys, grab a beer. An adult beverage is preferable on this Friday night. This is Beer and Bullstein afterwards, and we're going to actually talk about where we're at right here, right now. And this is our latest update from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
I won't get ahead of the president on broadcasting any timelines. What I will tell you is what President Trump has already laid out, which is that the achievable objectives of Operation Epic Fury we expect to last about 4 to 6 weeks, and we are well on our way to achieving those objectives. Annihilating Iran's navy, we know that we've sunk more than 30 Iranian vessels and ships. Their navy has now been deemed combat ineffective. Taking out the ballistic missile threat that Iran posed to the United States and our troops and bases in the region, we have done a tremendous job. The United States military has done a tremendous job at achieving that objective thus far. Just 6 days in, the retaliatory ballistic missile strikes from Iran are now down 90%. Of course, ensuring Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon as well, and significantly weakening their proxies in the region, which we know are responsible for the deaths of Americans. And we've seen Hezbollah and the Houthis hardly putting up a fight over the course of the last 6 days. Ultimately, the president has made it very clear he wants to take out the threat of Iran to the United States, and Operation Epic Fury is well on its way to doing that. I won't get ahead of the...
Interesting. So what were the objectives of this? One of it was taking out the ballistics missile systems of Iran. The other one was disabling their navy so they couldn't shut down the Straits of Hormuz, which has pretty much been accomplished. We even took out a warship outside of Iranian national waters. Let's take a look here. at the Democrats' response. And as much as it pains me, and I know it's going to pain you, so you're going to, guys, seriously, grab a beer, grab a bourbon, maybe a 9 mil, whatever you need to stomach this woman. I'm sorry in advance. But here she is. And oh God.
I just left a classified briefing on Iran. And
yeah, you just left a classified briefing in Iran, just like every other Democrat. And you went straight to the media and go, hey, let me tell you about this classified briefing that I'm not going to get in trouble for. And by the way, most of the stuff that I'm going to talk about, and the only reason I'm not going to get in trouble for it is because everything I'm about to say is what? Bullstein.
Here's what I can say. It is so much worse than you thought. You are right to be worried. The Trump administration has no plan in Iran. This illegal war is based on lies, and it was launched without any imminent threat to our nation. Donald Trump still hasn't given a single clear reason for this war, and he seems to have no plan for how to end it either.
No plan.
Like a lot of you, I am really angry. I am angry at what Donald Trump is doing, and I feel grief for those already killed in this unnecessary conflict. And I will keep doing everything I can to fight to end this war.
So angry. So angry. So angry. The Ice Queen up there. Yeah. I could just feel the angst. First off, no plan. No plan. Not at all. No plan whatsoever. Really. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk from another Democrat. Let's see. Let's pull up Democrat Representative Sarah Jacobs. Let's see what she has to say about this. Oops, let me get that up there real quick. And here we are.
You know, it feels like this is an opportunity to follow the money. There is a lot of very rigorous oversight that we need.
If you don't know who Democrat Sarah Jacobs is, she's that dumbass right there that just popped up. She was the one on the right.
To do in addition to the war powers vote. And even the fact that we are questioning, did Donald Trump make this decision in the interest of U.S. national security, or did he make this decision in the interest of his own family's business interests, should be enough that we should all be very, very concerned about these business dealings that he's doing, because we should know without a doubt that our commander-in-chief, our president, even if we disagree with the decision, is making decisions solely about whether or not this is in the U.S.'s national interest. You know, it feels
because Iran is such a destination for Trump Tower and Trump hotels and Atlantic City type things, and anything that the Trump administration might want to, or not Trump administration, but the Trump organization might want to get involved with. This is a 37-year-old woman who wasn't alive when Iran took hostages, who wasn't alive and really hasn't done a deep dive into the fact that Iran was expressly and uniquely responsible for almost every single explosively formed projectile that entered Iraq during all of those years of the Iraq War. I will tell you this right now. I am an explosive ordnance disposal expert. I saw them. I went through their factories. I diffused them. I saw the aftermath of it. The most deadly IEDs out there were EFPs, explosively formed projectiles, and every single one of them came from, ding, you guessed it. I need BZ's bell. Ding, you guessed it, Iran. They all work off of the Misne-Chardin effect, which is basically a copper-formed projectile that gets explosively formed and penetrates armor. You know, everybody sits there and says, "Oh, they were fighting the insurgents and stuff with those things." No, we were the only people on the ground with armor at the time. The United States. They were formed for us. Period. End of list. That's it. You know, Iran funneled all of that knowledge, all of the resources, and most of the actual EFP discs, because those things have to be perfect, you know, in order for it to happen mathematically as well as manufacturing. So this dumbass up here is actually sitting there thinking that Trump needs to, divest himself of these things. But there's no plan. Let's get back to, Warren. There's no plan. The plan might be Trump is going to, just go in there and put up a bunch of hotels, whatever. But that's the funny thing is the day before Marco Rubio, he was off of one of his 19,000 jobs that he was working at, and actually went back to Secretary of State for a moment and actually gave us the plan. Shall we hear it?
Well, we did. We notified Congress. I mean, we notified the Gang of Eight. We notified congressional leadership. There's no law that requires us to do that. The law says we have to notify them for.
Oh, I apologize. This is actually them talking about the War Powers Act and about the notification of it. Go ahead.
8 hours after beginning hostilities. We've done that. I think the notification went today. But we did notify members of Congress in advance. But we can't notify 535 members of Congress. Well, the Congress can vote on whatever they want, but there's no law that requires us to do that. And I want to say something because I see people on TV. Look, that's fine. If they want to take a war powers vote, they can do that. They've done that. They've done that a bunch of times. But people keep saying that there's no law that requires the president to have done anything with regards to this. To begin with, no presidential administration has ever accepted the War Powers Act as constitutional. Not Republican presidents, not Democratic presidents. That said, we have followed the notification at 48 hours, and we're here today. I've done more Gang of Eight briefings than I got in the 4 years that Biden was president and I was a member of the Gang of Eight. All of that said, we've complied with the law 100%, and we're going to continue to comply with it.
Comply with the law 100%. Interesting. So who's to blame here if we don't like the War Powers Act? Let's go back to my previous show last Friday where we were talking about Article 1, Section 8. Ones that would be actually Article 1, Section 8, the 18th enumerated power, where it comes up, it says that Congress is allowed to make laws to enumerate or basically back up any of these enumerated powers, which is to make war. One of the enumerated powers is to declare war. Well, there's where the War Powers Act came from back in 1973. They made the War Powers Act stating 60 days that the president may go and engage in hostilities, 30 days of withdrawal, 48 hours for a notification to Congress. Not every single member of Congress, like every single member of Congress wants somebody to come up and go, excuse me, Congressman, we're going to war and we're going to do this. What they want is prior notification. You know what? That doesn't happen. That's the reason for the War Powers Act, was prior notification can't happen because the Russians might actually shoot some missiles and we have 18 minutes to respond. That's it. Okay, you can't do that. Hey, all they're going to do is 48 hours. They're going to go over to the leadership of Congress, most likely the speaker and then the majority leaders, majority and minority leaders of the Senate, and go, hey, we're doing this. Debate. Do your thing. And there you go. Now let's talk about the plan. Let's get him up here.
President Trump said overnight that his top choices to now run Iran were killed in the strikes. Does the United States have a firm plan for how they intend to handle this power vacuum in Iran to ensure that an Iron warliner does not take power?
So two things can be true. Number one is our mission and our focus is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and their ability to manufacture them, as well as the threat posed by their Navy to global shipping. That's our objective. That said,
three things.
We would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible. But the objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
One down already.
So are you saying, based on that, are you saying that there is no responsibility, no plan for the U.S. to at least play a role in whatever government comes next?
We might. We'll see how circumstances play out. But I'm telling you what the objectives of this operation are. The objectives of this operation are to destroy their ballistic missile capability and make sure they can't rebuild it, and make sure that they can't hide behind that to have a nuclear program. That's the objective of the mission. That said, abundantly clear, we would love for there to be an Iran that's not governed by radical Shia clerics. As I've said myself repeatedly for years, the leadership of that country does not reflect the people of Iran, and I think that's been pretty apparent in the protests that you've seen. If there's something we can do to help them down the road, we'd obviously be open to it, but that's not the objective. The objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities.
Interesting. So he just laid out the plan. The plan's right there. It's a three-part plan. Their ballistic missiles, the production facilities for the ballistic missiles, and their Navy. The Navy's pretty well screwed. All right. We're now hitting ballistic missile sites and the production sites. Those two are going to take a little bit more time. That's why, and in fact, I was wrong on VZ's panels last Sunday, where I said probably a week and a half. I'm a little wrong. They're looking more about 4 to 6 weeks. I think they're going to have it done in 3. Just my thing, my opinion on that. I think they're going to have it done in 3, mainly because my Star Trek background of Mr. Scott multiplying everything by the factor of 4. Or a factor of 2 or whatever, because then you could be a miracle worker when you get it done like really, really quick. I think they're going to basically get it done in 3 weeks because at that point they're going to be heroes. That being said, make sure you check out the SHR Media site. Make sure you check out the 250 reasons to read source documents, and we will be right back.
Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, where we cut through the noise of news and politics with a sharp edge. Tune in every Monday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a refreshing dose of reality. We fearlessly tackle the tough topics with no nonsense, just pure common sense. Visit shrmedia.com to discover where you can catch the Reaver in action. He is here to amplify your inner logic. He may not always be polite. He may not always be refined, but one thing is for sure. He always tells it like it is. The Reaver of Common Sense.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back to Beer and Bullstein. I am your host, Lyle Armstrong. I forgot to hide that on the stream. There we go. I am Lyle Armstrong, your host of Beer and Bullstein. Welcome back. This is the SHR Media Network. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank you for all my moderators that are in the chat. All of you people, good people in the chat and talking tonight. Grab your adult beverage, grab your vapes, grab whatever you got. You know, if you're a partaker, partake. I don't care because you might need it. With all of the stuff that's going on, because the hypocrisy from the left that is really coming out, it's just completely nuts. All right. First off, you got Elizabeth Warren out there saying, we have no plan. Well, the day before, Marco Rubio laid out the plan. Okay. She could sit there and say what she wants about a classified briefing that she knows damn well she can't talk about. Whether or not she was actually in a classified briefing, guess what? It's classified. So take her word for it. Don't take her word for it. I happen to know she's a colossal liar. You know, so it just boils down to, you know, first off, she's a politician. That just comes with liar. Sorry, I'm getting stuff in here. There we go. Basically, what is going on is a a lot of hypocrisy. And let's go back to Clinton in 2008, of all things. Hillary Clinton. What would she do if she became president?
And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic. And I want the
so why is it okay for Democrats to say that they'd attack Iran? Oh, that's right. And tonight we're going to unveil something near and dear to my heart. You might see a little bit of a corner here of it. There we go. A little bit of corner there. We call it the whiteboard cam. Why do Democrats do it? Because it's different when we do it. Let me pull that. Must have gotten a little bit to the side. There we go. It's different when we do it. Hypocrisy at its finest. Let's take a look at Hakeem Jeffries just the other day. Let's talk to him.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. Back in 2011, Nancy Pelosi said that then President Obama didn't need congressional approval to bomb Libya. Now House Democrats say President Trump needs that approval to bomb Iran. What's the difference?
Well, obviously, Libya and the circumstances connected to that were very different than the circumstance that we
Okay, the circumstances don't matter. Let's continue.
Face in Iran right now. I mean, I don't even understand the genesis or basis of that question. Not suggesting that you're not asking it in good faith.
Libya went on for 7 months.
As I've indicated, first of all, I was not in Congress at the time. So we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now, which is a catastrophic, endless war, as Donald Trump has characterized it, without any justification that there was going to be a preeminent assault or attack on the United States of America, either in our homeland or as it relates to our interests in the Middle East. The administration is not even pretending like they have intelligence or information at this point, publicly. And certainly there's been nothing.
All right. First off, I gotta back this up. I have taught behavioral analysis for, in interviewing techniques and stuff. This guy's cues are huge. All right. I'm going to back this up. Watch his hands. When he says attack, he points to himself as if you're attacking me. You're attacking me with this question. I got to back this up. This is, I actually just saw this just now. This is live.
It without any justification.
All right. No justification. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to make a pointed point here. I'm the authority on this. That's that right there. That's holy crap. This guy's giving up behaviors like a son of a bitch.
Going to be a preeminent assault or attack on the United States of America, either in our homeland or as it relates to our interests in the Middle East. The administration is not even pretending like they have intelligence or information at this point, publicly. And certainly there's been nothing that has been presented to us privately to justify a preemptive strike of this nature that has triggered an all-out war in the Middle East. And by the way, Donald Trump is the one who said in the aftermath of the 12-day war that Iran's nuclear program has been completely and totally obliterated. Not my words, his words.
Notice how his hand gesture stopped right there, because he's absolutely right. Trump did say that. Trump said that. However, his hand gesture stopped. Everything he was doing was this, and then I'm going this. I'm rolling my hands. I'm running down the sheet of talking points. I'm here. Make a point. Make a point. Make a point. Rolling down the thing, and then he stops. This is classic.
So was he lying to the American people then, or is he lying now? When he tried to suggest a few days.
Awesome.
Thank you,
I don't want to watch that again because that is utter garbage. So this is utter garbage. This is, oh my God. You know what? Why is it Why is it okay when Obama did it, but Trump does it? It's because it's different. Totally effing different. So let's go back to 2011. Let's talk to Nancy Pelosi. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens and get exactly what that reporter was talking about.
So, Madam Speaker, Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you all very much.
Yes. A one-word answer. Yes. How definitive is that? Do you need any more? Definitive. It's boom. Yes. Holy crap. I mean, like, as in, holy crap. How different do you need it? It's different when we do it. Because our guy's in office, he can do whatever the hell he wants. But it's your guy in office, so now he has to abide by a different set of rules. A holy crap different set of rules. It's different when we do it. This is just amazing, folks. Let's talk about another hypocrisy while we're in the news. I don't think, or I'm going to bring this one up. Nancy Pelosi, I thought she was supposed to retire last year. Boy, did she get around. I can't believe she's been around since 1987. I think Nancy Pelosi has been rebuilt in a garage about 92 different times, and they've put different types of upgrades into her so she can keep coming back. What do you think? Oh, this is fun. Guys, grab your beers. This is Beer Bullstein. I'm your host, Lyle Armstrong. But let's talk about another piece of hypocrisy, because this just happened this past week in the Texas elections. Miss Jasmine Crockett, Miss Ghetto Rep herself. Let's bring her on up.
To cast their vote, we should all be standing together. Democrats, Republicans, and we should all be raising hell. But unfortunately, this was always the plan. And so I am grateful for this court order. And as Congressman Allred has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it.
There's that word.
So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure that you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote, stand in line, wait in line, and if it means that I got to come out there with you to wait with you, I will do that.
Congressman. Wait a minute. Didn't they arrest Trump for doing pretty much the same thing in Georgia, where he said that there was cheating involved and go find me my votes and all that other good stuff? That woman, why is it, I don't understand. Is it different? What do you think, chat? Is it different when we do it? Is it different? I don't know. I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking it is 100% different. This is a whole thing that we got going on here. There is 100% hypocrisy from the left. We have an entire media that covers for it. We have every single pundit that's out there with, as it's been put out, the history of now, forget tomorrow. That's what Andrew Wilkow calls it. It's mainly do what you want. We'll forget everything you did yesterday, as if the internet doesn't exist, as if we can't go back and can't talk about and can't find what you just said yesterday. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. It's fine. We'll come back and we'll throw your voices into it. But the problem with it is you're literally, in my opinion, as somebody said it so brilliantly in our chat, you're a bunch of crackheads. Seriously, bunch of crackheads. I'm saying that's the most succinct way I could possibly put it right there. You are a bunch of crackheads. You know why? Because I'm sitting here thinking, How could a reasonably intelligent person come up with this and think, hey, well, I sat there and railed against an administration who sat there and said, hey, there's problems with this. Maybe we should look at Fulton County. But then in my own, I can come up with, I'm being cheated against. I don't get that. And then, yep, exactly. And just like Pineapple Pine Sol there said, and then Trump had to go and turn himself in for the famous mugshot. I apologize. My co-host here, Cartier, has decided to get in the middle of the studio right now, which I apologize. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, guys. I am in the midst of redoing my entire studio while I'm doing this, and hopefully it'll be done by tomorrow night's show. But right now, my entire engineer's desk looks like somebody in an Italian restaurant had a big pot of spaghetti and like just went, oh God. And that's where all the wires went. And somehow I have nestled a beer in the middle of it. However, Cartier is down here at my feet and is like pulling everything down in the middle of my show. And she knows I'm talking about her. And she's actually turning my chair as we speak because she hears her name. And in fact, you know what? We need a Cartier break. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Up. 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 I wish I had a camera on this. She literally has a set of headphones attached to her ass. Come here. Come here. Let me get that off of you. She has headphones attached to her ass. This is come here. Show the people. Come here. Up, 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 up. There we go. This is my girl who is more of a menace than anything. Say hello to the people and give me some kisses. Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, go climb up. Go climb up. She is a menace, people. I apologize. I gotta have a Cartier break. Pretty soon, the because it's different cam will probably become the Cartier cam, where she will be out there doing cute things and saying hello and all that stuff, because she is my co-pilot for life. At this point, I haven't been 6 feet from this dog since I got her. All that other good stuff. That being said, we are going to take a slight little break here real quick so I can get everything back in order that she just unplugged, and I will be right back.
Come listen to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon Radio Show. Live on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, and 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Rumble channel, SHR Media YouTube channel, X, Twitch, Spreaker, and wherever great conservative podcasts are found. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, guides you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Raised as a free-range child with dirt, stains, mud, and freedom, BZ broadcasts from North Idaho, comfortably surrounded by actual normal people. Jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room on rumble.com. Click on live chat to join. Now, with 37% more umbrage and 19% more bulbosity than previous shows, featuring delicious Liberty additives for the best in late-night conservatarian talk radio. BZ reminds you that with great beard comes great responsibility. No chinchillas were harmed, embarrassed, fat-shamed, or the focus of any sarcasm whatsoever in the making of this ad.
Hey. Where do you go when you want real conversation and topics? That's right, you step to the Edge. The Edge of Liberty is your home for talk radio the way it was meant to be. I'll be live every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network, and we're simulcast on KLRN Radio. We're building something different, Aaron. We just want you to be a part of it. I'll see you on the Edge.
Are you looking for a way to boldly express your faith and love for your country? And check out Seven Armors, the premier apparel company for patriotic men of God, where faith meets freedom in style. Our t-shirts are more than just clothing, they are statements. Bold, stylish, and meaningful. From timeless messages to modern designs, we've got something for every patriotic man of God. Wear your beliefs proudly with 7 Armors gear. Don't miss the chance to wear your faith and freedom on your sleeve. Visit 7armors.com today and join the movement. That's the number 7armors.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
That's right. Make sure you check out 7armors.com and shrmedia.com, where you can see all of our good stuff, all of our podcasts, all of our shows, and everything that is wonderful and great that brings the truth to light. This is Beer and Bullstein. I'm your host, Lyle Armstrong. Welcome back. Cartier has finally calmed down. She has her ostrich femur now in her mouth and trying to get that marrow out of there. So she's happy as a pig in shit, as I would say. We're back to it. So let's talk about this hypocrisy. What does this do to us as a country? Seriously, because let's face it. Politics, from the Latin poly, which means many, and ticks means blood-sucking parasites. All right, what happens when you can't trust the people who are talking above you and are sent there to quote unquote lead us or represent us? I don't believe that they are leaders. I believe they are representatives, and that the problem is they're representing a sect of people that I don't like. Think about that. My Senator Warren, which I showed up there, which I have an incredible disdain for, is representing me in my state. And you know what? She's representing it well, unfortunately. I'm going to talk about an entire state of people. I know that 50% of the state of Massachusetts is not like Senator Warren, does not believe in Senator Warren, does not like Senator Warren. However, that's who we send. That's how we send them. So let's talk about the SAVE Act for a second. The SAVE Act is stalled in the Senate right now based on the filibuster and what Mike Lee is calling the zombie filibuster, which I know this isn't really constitutional issues, but it is kind of a Senate parliamentarian issue where I do believe that if you're going to filibuster something, I think you should have the gumption. Get up there, talk, read from the phone book. I don't freaking care. Do a hour-long podcast live from the Senate floor about why you think the SAVE Act is good or bad, or would be bad in that case. Sit there and talk about it. Why is it bad? Why is it so bad that you have to show ID to vote, to prove that you're a U.S. citizen? In the state of Massachusetts, when you get your driver's license, they sign you up to vote. Think about that. They also passed a law that they're going to give driver's licenses to illegal aliens. Think about that. That's how we get Senator Warren. I'm really thinking about that. I don't like the fact that my vote gets overcast 4-1 because here I am. I go vote. I do it every time. I still do, because you know what? That is still my civic duty. I took an oath to defend the Constitution. To be honest with you, I'm not allowed to shoot anybody anymore. So voting is pretty much my only option at this point. So I keep doing it. And I keep doing it. And I keep doing it. And I keep doing it until my wife decides that it's okay for me to leave the state. But it really boils down to is we have to keep fighting this crap, because that's how we get the Elizabeth Warrens of the world. But how did we get here? Let's talk about it with Van Jones. Oh my God, the avowed communist Van Jones. Whoops, I got the wrong one up there already.
Bit by bit, post by post, nudge by nudge, people are getting separated into different camps that are not ultimately fighting for the good of the United States or the West or their own countries, but are actually functioning at a pawn layer, a pawn level, being moved by different algorithms, by different information operations.
He's talking about you,
cluster and be useful to people who ultimately mean you no good, ultimately not benefiting anybody in the United States. Why is it that you see young people in America who give a free pass to Iran, which is butchering people, shooting down young protesters, won't give women their rights, won't give gay people their rights, and yet are incredibly critical of the United States itself, which at least doesn't kill thousands of protesters and has rights for people? What is going on? Why are people who consider themselves to be American patriots on the right suddenly willing to side with a country that has been an enemy of the United States for now generations? What is happening here? And what's the impact of having a country where different factions inside the country are actually aligning themselves with enemies outside the country without seeming to really know they're doing that? That's a gray war. That's how you know you're in a gray war.
That's how you know you're in a gray war, by the infamous Van Jones. And the fun part is, I never thought I'd agree with Van Jones, but here I am. Weird, right? We are in a gray war. The problem with it is the so-called educated people are the dumbasses. I went to college for all of a little bit. I was doing quantum physics, of all things. Some people think I'm smart. I think I'm pretty much half a retard. But it really boils down to is I ran out of money and I went to the military. So, and then I blew things up for a living. So it kind of worked out in my favor anyway. My point of the matter is how did I avoid this leftist ideology that came out of it? And I really do believe that it is because I didn't have the indoctrination that the colleges are giving our kids. Now, let's hear from an actual Russian who knows the fact of what's going on. Whoops, here he is.
What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students.
This was shot in the 80s, by the way.
Of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him.
Oh. And there we go. The facts tell nothing to him. A person is demoralized. And we're how many generations beyond that? Let's take a look. This is where we are now. This is Boston today.
Against the war with Iran have emerged here in Boston and all across the country. As Brandon Truitt shows us tonight, critics say they do not want the United States involved in another open-ended conflict.
And emotions have been running high since these attacks over the weekend. Reaction has been swift. Protests like this one in Boston have been popping up across the country.
We know history, we know facts. We know history, we know facts.
It's been nearly 3 days since the U.S. unleashed an attack on Iran, and these folks say they've seen enough.
We do not want our weapons to be bombing civilians in these countries. We need this war to stop.
A couple hundred people gathered on the Boston Common, united in their disapproval of this military operation and the way President Donald Trump has gone about it. And they're not alone. A Reuters Ipsos poll showed just over a quarter of Americans agreed with the strikes in Iran.
They say it's for their, because they have nukes or their nuclear program. Didn't they say like 8 months ago that they obliterated it? So which one is it?
The whole thing is crazy. I never expected, and the Supreme Court is not pushing back. Congress is not pushing back.
Instead, people here wish the hundreds of millions spent on these attacks would be invested back here at home on things like education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
He said America first. That's what he ran on. This is not America.
All right, we can get out of that because now they're going to go into the bashing of the Trump and all that other good stuff rather than what they're actually doing there. First off, you ever notice that they all chant? All right, it's called groupthink. That's exactly what it is. It's not a matter of, you know, I have an idea and I want to discuss this and I want to protest this. It's all da. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy. It's all the same thing. We know history. We know facts. No, actually, you don't, because if you did, you would actually say that without someone chanting it to you first, and you get to repeat it back to them. First off. Secondly, you would actually be able to do stuff if you watched Beer and Bullstein here at Friday and Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Just a shameless plug there. So, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, gripes, and moans. Anybody? No? Cool. So let's get into something else that really has chapped my hide. And I think I may have lost it. Uh-oh. I did lose it. Oh, I apologize. This is live podcasting. I think I may have closed out the tab. Hold on one second. Oh, this is embarrassing. Well, anyway, we'll just do this. Congress, under the Biden administration, I'll just talk to you. I had a whole clip here from the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee that happened today about the queering of our maps. Queering, making our maps more gay, as it was put into the thing. It was Brian Mast talking to, I do believe, I don't remember who it was. It was Representative Brian Mast, though. I do know that fellow EOD Tech. That was talking to a lady who was talking about making maps more gay. And this is what she was talking about. And I'm going to bring this up. The queering of the maps. This is what she was talking about. Queering the map. There was $75 million made to make this worldwide map of queer. $75 million. And all this is, let's pick out a couple. We'll come back down to Boston. There we go. Come on into Boston. The queering of Boston. Here we go. There's one right there down on Lansdowne Street. Being queer. I don't know. Let me see if I can work that up there. That doesn't get any bigger. Being queer and working at a sports stadium is hard, but my wonderful queer friends keep me going. Go Fen, gays, go Sox. Oh, that was right there at Fenway. All right, cool. This one here. Had our first kiss in the doorway of Fenway Johnny's after a Red Sox game. I can still remember how nervous we were and how we hid in a tunnel that led to the door so no one else would see. Sang girl crush at Queer Coke or Queerioke. Realized that HRT was just an informed consent formal way and my life could immediately get better. Got my Spiro and I don't even know what prescription. I don't even want to know. This is nothing but a map So queer, non-binary, the LGBTQ plus community could come in here and share their memories of being gay and queer and all that stuff. And we spent $75 million making this freaking thing. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care if they only spent 75 cents. All right. The federal government should not be wasting money on this bullshit. Okay. Bullstein. This is 100% of the Bullstein meter right here. This right here is nowhere in the Constitution. All right. First off, cartography is not in the Constitution. Okay. Why would this be in the Constitution? At all. Period. End of list. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, gripes, or moans? No. All right. So that's kind of bringing us to an end of our show. I do want to thank you guys for being here. I do want to bring up a few other things real quick before we go. I got to bring up here that, where are we? Monday and Friday, you can catch the Reaver of Common Sense, Jersey Joe, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. He's at Monday and Friday. Monday and Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. The Edge of Liberty, the boss man himself, Sackhead Sean, will be here at 11 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That will be Mission Ready Man with Big E Earl Jackson. He is the man, the myth, the legend. And I believe he's in our chat right now. So say hi, Earl. And then on the same Tuesdays and Thursdays, Berserk Bobcat BZ will be here with his awesomeness and his beard. I do love his beard, and I want to, contribute to his beard care. But I've got a little bit going myself that I got to work out. He'll be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 p.m. Eastern. What is that? 11 p.m. Eastern is 7 p.m. Pacific time. I can still do math. That's pretty good. I probably haven't had enough beer. So that being said, people, what's up, Earl? I see you there. I do believe, we already have a queer maps. Check out the EU. That's a good one, brother. That's a good one. I do appreciate you all being here. I am the Beer and Bullstein host, Lyle Armstrong. Please check out SHR Media. You can check me out at Lyle_Armstrong on X. You can also check me here if you want to see some music or anything at the EOD Operator. I think it's EOD Operator, one word, on YouTube. There's some music and all that other good stuff that goes on there. Nothing political, just some good times and some good tunes. Other than that, I do appreciate you. I will see you here back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That being said, if you can't be good at it, folks.